Welcome back to the channel, everyone. As you can see, today I'm doing a tier list for the Final Fantasy games, because recently I saw someone do a tier list for all of the Final Fantasy games. Before I get started, I want to make one thing oh so clear. This is all about vibes today. I am not going to do any objective rating of any of these games. It is just going to be how I felt about it. That said, there are three of these games that I haven't played. 12 Revenant Wings, I think. I also don't think I've played three. I might have at some point in the past, but I have no recollection if I did. And also four After Years. I think I may, that's another one. I think I may have played like 5 minutes of ever, and that's it. Actually, thinking about it, I did play some of three. The thing is, I just don't remember any of it, so I'm not going to be able to, not going to even be able to subjectively rate it. Also, as the title of this is definitely going to show, I am going to have some bad takes. I have a very specific personality that I will get into later, and they are not going to be some popular opinions. All right, so number one, Final Fantasy 1. I have played this. I think I've beat it. I'm almost certain, but it's been a long time. This, it's a good game. Sort of. It's definitely a wonderful game for its time. It does not age well. I would not recommend to anyone to go back and play it unless you want to go through all the Final Fantasies and play them. So I think a C is perfectly reasonable for this because it is not really fun to play. It's not, the story is very light. Um the characters are, well, they're basically just sprites. There's I don't like I can't even remember a story. Like, do the characters even matter, or are they just there to like go from point A to point B? I think there have been some remakes that have been kind of okay, but for the most part, you know what? If you want to go back and play it, like C, S, A, B, and C, I would recommend. I would maybe not happily around like B and C, but go for it. D, don't play. Terrible, awful, no good, no friends, etc. Don't play those. Do I have any of those? I may not have any of those. Actually, yes, I do. We'll get there later. All right, so Final Fantasy 2. We're coming right out the gate with terrible opinions, and I don't care. Final Fantasy 2 is an A. But hang on, before you start getting in the comments to yell at me about this, I love Final Fantasy 2 because I like terrible stuff. No, I know the big issue with Final Fantasy 2 is the leveling mechanic in that there isn't one. However, I also really like Romancing Saga Minstrel Song. And well, actually I think it's basically all the Romancing Saga games where you don't level up traditionally. You level up, well, I guess Romancing Saga is a bit random, but you level up by using the skill. I like that as a mechanic. I just think it's cool. And that way, you can very intentionally level up instead of leveling up and just everything goes up. If you want to go and do specific stuff, you can get that. If you want to be a mage, you can do stuff to just get your mage stats up. Now, I understand there are some janky ways to go around this because stuff like heal or your health. You don't get more health unless you're hit. So if you've got an archer in the back row, no one's hitting them because they're in the back row, so you have to do it yourself. I think that's hilarious. Fine, whatever, that's totally fine with me. The story, it's actually a pretty good story. And I play well, I played two on the PlayStation on, I think it was the Origins collection, which is one and two, maybe three. No, I think I played three on PC. The Final Fantasy II version on there had wonderful cutscene scenes. No, I think it was just the one cutscene. Well, and also like an introductory cutscene. So I'm gonna say two. And there was actually, especially an upgrade from one, there was actually like a story. There were characters, your people had thoughts and opinions. There was, a villain, an arc, like all the good stuff, like a story that actually had one. So, you know what? I just, again, like I said, we're going on vibes here. Just loved to. Could I go back and play it? Hard to say, but it's long enough in the past that I can think fondly on it and put it in A here. Now, 4, skipping over 3 because I don't know anything about that game. 4, I know, is another beloved Final Fantasy. I'm gonna give it a B. It was fine. I maybe a B plus. Like, I really don't remember it that well, and I know like Cecil, the whole Dark Knight to Paladin. It was a White Knight, Holy Knight. What was he? The story. A theme you're probably gonna be able to find here is that if there's a love story, I kind of don't care. Like, if that's the focus of the game, whatever. And I suppose the whole stuff with Rosa may not have been like the core theme here, but it was definitely there. Like, I don't really care about this. I gotta say, sorry to this man. But who was the little summoner girl? I don't remember her name. Loved her. She's fantastic. That honestly, she's like the peak of the game for me. Those two kids that kill themselves or sacrifice themselves. Nobody cares about you. Or I think that was 4. Let's just assume it was 4, because that's where I'm going to leave it on here regardless. It's a B. It's totally acceptable, especially some of the remakes. They're a bit nicer, maybe a little bit more for a modern audience. 5? 5. Who are you, Deirdre? I'm going to give that a B as well. I definitely play I definitely played 5 all the way through. Might bump it up to an A. I'm gonna sit on that, just like mull it over, maybe bump it up at the end. I, my God, the villain of this game has the dumbest name of any Final Fantasy villain ever, possibly Exdeath. Now, in fairness, I know that a lot of the games were poorly translated up until like 7 or 8. So I can't fault it too much. I'm going to, because it's a stupid name, but also hilarious. I do wonder if it was translated better, what would the name of that villain be? Would it still be Exdeath or something else? It's just a silly ass name. It's so funny. One of the things I love in a video game, it is a ballsy move when they kill a main character and replace them. Like in this, for example, probably should say spoiler alert. They kill uh, mm, Galuf, want to say Gallop Poles, I think is his name, with his granddaughter Kryl. They replace him with granddaughter Kryl. It, peak peak game design, peak story development when you kill a main character off. Also, they do that in, again, spoiler alert, Persona 3. They kill off one of the main characters. You use him for a little bit, and then he just straight up dies. Like, oh damn. So any game along this series that you kill a character, a main character, love. Like, immediate bump up to a new rank. You know what? I'm gonna give it an A. I again, probably couldn't go back and play this. Oh wait, I think Ferris is in this one, the pirate. Love her too. And yeah, I think A is fair. I think A is fair for this. Good job, me. Now, Final Fantasy VI. S plus, triple S, wonderful. Maybe my favorite Final Fantasy game of the entire series. I love Final Fantasy VI. Holy shit. Uh, this is another one where, like I was kind of saying with the last one, or with 4, where there's not a lot of like love story to it. There is with some of the characters, but it's not the focus. It is more political machinations. Love that in a game. Unfortunately, Final Fantasy Tactics is not on here because that would be also in S tier. It's peak game design again. I love. Uh, they, they do say that there are no main characters in this game, which uh, I suppose that's sort of technically correct, but it's like it's Terra. Like, come on now. Well, in the first half of the game, anyway. In the second half, it kind of becomes Celeste. Is it Celeste? Celeste? Like, are we again going with the poor translation, the limited characters? I like saying Celeste because it's probably what it was supposed to be in the first place. But and Kefka, what an absolutely unhinged psychotic villain. And he just I know everyone says this about it. They think it's so cool that he destroys the world. And you know what? Same. I love that halfway through the game the world actually gets destroyed for the most part. And then everyone's just like trying to pick up the pieces. And it's also I well maybe the people could say this about 4 or 3 even because I don't really know that one that much. It has like emotional weight to it. The number of times where I get choked up playing this game, like when you're on the Phantom train, when uh Terra is finally learning to love, when you finally find Locke again and he gets the Phoenix Magicite. Like it's just I'm such a crybaby anyway that it's really not like that difficult to make me cry in video games, but it's just so nice. Oh, and also I don't remember Setzer's potential love interest that dies in flashbacks. I don't remember her name, but also that whole story about what happens to her. I'm just like sitting there crying, watching them go down the stairs to find the airship. Like, it's just such a good game, and I love that there's so much to do. It really can just go, especially in the latter half or the latter like hour, depending on how quickly you want to head off to the to the final battle. There's just so many different things. You can get new characters that aren't even like necessarily they don't have a story. Like everyone else for the most part, they've got some sort of story and they just got a couple characters at the end like, "Oh, hey, I guess I'll recruit you." Yeah, good shit. Final Fantasy 7. I don't know about her. Uh oh god. I mean, it's got to be a lot of these are going to be S's. And you know what? Good, because it's vibes only. S, absolutely. And you know what? Unpopular opinion? Absolutely love the remake. And I say unpopular because a lot of people like to shit on it, especially because it got Nomura'd up, and especially at the end, what kind of went down the crazy final or Kingdom Hearts route. Uh, Someone needs to stop that man. Some people are not telling that man the truth, and they really need to. But we're not talking about the remake. We're talking about the original. Another one where I love that there's in the latter part of the game there's so much just stuff to do, especially doing all the crazy BS chocobo breeding just to get one single piece of materia that breaks the whole game. Love it. Love a game where you're able to do extra stuff to become overpowered. And not even necessarily overpowered just by leveling up, but you go do a thing that makes you overpowered. If I remember, I'll say that in Final Fantasy X as well. There's some stuff about that, but again, we're on Final Fantasy VII. Characters, love, for the most part. Cloud is better than Squall in Final Fantasy VIII because he grows up. Or wait, no, I guess Squall does that too. I don't know. He's less emo, I think, at the beginning. Maybe it's just hard to tell because it's a fucking PS1 game. But just I love character development when people grow up and like aren't just the same one note boring character the entire time. Also, in hindsight, Aerith is absolutely a nutball in Final Fantasy VII. Like you kind of want to see her as this like angelic, like sweet, innocent little girl. No, she's crazy. That bitch is insane. Um I'm trying to remember uh some of the like instances where that happens, but I know like she fucking stalks you in Midgard at the beginning. She like follows you out of her house if I recall correctly, when you're in the Golden Saucer, if you do I suppose, sort of a mini game at the play wrong, she'll like just smack you. She goes off and gets herself killed. Like, damn, girl, you really crazy. Love it for her though. And I think pretty much all the like this Final Fantasy VI had a lot of characters, a lot of character in the characters. Some of them really didn't like pan out that much as much as the others anyway, but Final Fantasy VII, they really try for the most part to give everyone like some more soul. Then again, there are the optional characters. Well, I was gonna say Vincent doesn't really have like a lot to him, unless you're really going and trying to find some of his stuff, then he does. But otherwise, like, he doesn't really do much. He's just hanging out. I think he might have some dialogue every once in a while. Also, just apropos of nothing, sort of. Yuffie, it's Yuffie. I remember the first time I got her, it wasn't until like disc 2, like way into it or something, because I didn't know you could get her right at the beginning. Like, oh my god, I had so many character interactions that I could have had with her, but I didn't bring her along. Alright, Final Fantasy VIII, D, obviously. No, absolutely not. Fuck you. I know people love to hate on Final Fantasy VIII. They hate to fight. They they love to hate on Final Fantasy VIII for the kind of the same reason as Final Fantasy II. Just the leveling kind of is weird in the junction mechanic. However, as you see, I've got it set in A here. Haha, joke's on you, it's an S. Fucking love Final Fantasy VIII. I cry every time they start playing Eyes on Me when they're up in Ragnarok. Is that the airship's name? Oh my god. Just uh uh so good. I love the junction mechanic. Fuck fight me, whatever. It's cool. I love going and getting just a bunch of Ultima. It takes forever to do and junctioning that to like strength and just wailing on everybody. Hate, I've got it in S. I hate when a game scales enemies to your level. Absolutely not. Fucking abhor that mechanic. Although that being said, there's plenty of ways around it. As long as you don't try to like level up all the at the beginning, you're like level 90 before going to Dullet. I think that's where you go for your exam. Then you're probably going to be okay because you can take down enemies enough. But it does get a little bit dicey if you level up too much at the beginning. Trust me, I know. But I think you can even like draw Firaga maybe at the beginning if you're doing that stuff. I don't know. Still, wonderful. Love the game. And it's a theme for me. If you can do other stuff, like go around the world finding things, getting really strong items, just oh god, the triple triad, iconic, perfect. Like it's really lasted since Final Fantasy VIII, and doing that, get it using some of your GF abilities and turning those items into other stuff that make you invincible, especially in the final battle, which is absolute bullshit, and I hate it. Don't like that either. There are a couple things about this, but I'm still keeping it in S because, again, vibes only. All right, so remember when I said 2 was gonna be a bad take? Also got a bad take with 9. I don't like 9. No, that's not true. I don't like it much. It's going down in a C. I know this is so many people's favorite Final Fantasy game. I just didn't care. And like I said with the theming here, the love stories, I mean, granted, yeah, Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII is very much a nostalgia game for me. That's more of it than anything else, but you know what? Nostalgia wins. I got them rose-colored glasses on, baby. But 9, man, I don't know. I don't care about Garnet. I don't care about Tidus or whatever the main character's name is. I don't, who is he? No one cares. Um, it's not just the love story between them, but goddamn if they don't just keep that going through the whole game. But I I will say there are some nice things about this game. I can't think of any, but I know they exist, so you know what? It's the thought that counts. That's really all I have to say about it. I've played through the entire game and I found it so unmemorable that I'm like, man, I don't know. I guess it was there. People liked it. Good for them. I'm happy for the people that like it. I don't care about this game, though. Final Fantasy X. We're going S tier again. Well, no, actually, I can't do it. You know what? I just can't do it because of Lulu's ultimate weapon minigame. Bad, awful, terrible, no friends. Club, another club, no sleep.
Club, another club.
It's terrible. I mean, that's not the only reason that's putting it down to an S, but again, just vibes. Like, I'm thinking of Macalania Woods, for example, and how, like, I don't know, it's just like, that place sucked. I hated going through that place. I hated the mini games, the stupid butterfly thing there. I know people hated um the chocobo racing to get zero and getting the ultimate weapons that way. I did like getting the ultimate weapons, except for Lulu's and Tita or no, Waka's. Oh God, I loved Blitzball. I played so much Blitzball. I would never play it again. I do not want to play Blitzball anymore. But I could not get Waka's whatever Jupiter sigil. Is he Jupiter? I don't remember. Because I had to get like, it's so funny. I had to get like not first place. I had to get second or something like that in order to get the sigil. I can't get second. I'm too good. I'm so good at blitzball in that game that I always got first. I couldn't figure out how to not get first and get second in the tournament. So that was a bit annoying, but whatever. Well, like I said with the theming for some of the other games, I love having the ability to just go anywhere and do shit. It's probably like halfway through the game where you get the airship and suddenly you can just go anywhere. There's plenty of stuff to do, but oh god, love the airship, and I love that you can find extra places on the map to do stuff. It's like stuff that's not necessarily on the map, and you have to like manually go around and find it, and it's good shit too. Also, like what I alluded to earlier, getting overpowered, getting the oh my god, the Magus Sisters. Oh, just absolutely wrecking shit with the Magus Sisters. Granted, for the best probably you can't actively control them and say do this thing or do that thing. You just kind of have to like nudge them in the right direction. Fine, great. I absolutely wreck shit when I am playing with the Magus Sisters. I don't know necessarily. I'm just picking the right thing, or if anyone else is having problems with them. But damn, they are just kicking everyone's ass, and I love it. So yeah, solid A. Also the music, oh top tier. Another crying thing is Suteki Dane. Just that cutscene with them kissing under the water and like oh so pretty. I don't necessarily like a love story. I don't actively dislike it, but it's not my favorite. But oh, it's so cute. Look at them. They're so happy. Oh, and the ending. Oh my god. Another like when she says I love you, just me sobbing in tears like, "Oh god, she confessed her love." 10-2, S plus, triple S, quadruple S, iconic. Love this game. But I'm a homosexual. So, like, that should make sense that I've got 10-2 up here because that game was made for the gays. Good lord, just camp. Oh, it was such a stupid game. Just so extra, and I fucking loved it. The amount of time I would spend replaying the first cutscene, is that Real Emotion? I can't remember now. And then 1,000 words, and I don't remember if there were any others that I would do that to. Just over and over and over. I would also have it on CDs because I'm old and this game came out when CDs were a thing, and I would listen to that on the way to school in the morning, like on repeat. Oh, so good. And I know people like to shit on this game because of how um Yuna just like went from being a low-key summoner and now she's a pop star, which is she wasn't at the beginning, but then she kind of made her way there at the end. Like great, that's so fun. Good for her, girl power. Even though that's not their thing. And this is another one where like basically from the beginning you can just kind of go anywhere because you already played Final Fantasy X in theory. So like just go places. I just I love having like a semi-open world like this where you can just go anywhere you really want to at the beginning. Granted, there wasn't really like that much to do for a lot of it, but oh, some of the I love the jobs. Oh, the jobs were so much fun. Although that being said, they were fun up until a point when I would get Lady Luck and just like use the exploit where you pause the game so that you get like triple sevens or whatever it is you wanted on the roulette wheel because it's so easy. You just pause, 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 pause. Hey, got it. Okay. Now for the next one, pause, pause, pause. Hey, okay, got it. Triple sevens, ton of money, instant win, bunch of items. Like that's just what would happen at the end. So yeah, I think probably at the end, I really just like had Lady Luck rolling for basically everyone and then just winning the game. Especially at the, oh God, is it the Via Infinito? The area with like 100 levels. And that's just how I was getting through there, like just Lady Luck. Even the boss, no, not the boss, but like right before the like really hard dude that would basically try to one hit you, there was one where you could do that and just get a bunch of like really powerful items from him that make you invincible, and then you could beat that guy. Like, what? Thanks, but huh? That doesn't make sense. How am I able to beat a boss with like Lady Luck and just like make him run away and give me items and a bunch of money? I mean, I'm not going to complain, believe me, because I wouldn't have been able to beat that little bitch, but it's just so absurd. Now, I know there are going to be some fans of Final Fantasy XI that may not agree with me. D. Worst game. Awful. Horrible. No one should play it. Terrible game. Only for the sake of nostalgia should people even think about this game. I played several hours of this game. It was not fun. Fair warning, I'm not a huge fan of online multiplayer games to begin with. But there is some special bullshit about Final Fantasy XI that's just terrible. I think this came out before World of Warcraft. I don't quote me on that, but like I think WoW sucked at the beginning. I never really played it, and then they like finally figured it out. Finally figuring out 11 was Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn. Not even the first version of 14. But oh god, I don't really it's all brown and gray and the combat sucks. The UI is dreadful. It's not even fun to look at. It's so bad. Like don't play it. Like just why is it still on for that matter? I mean I know people love this game. So good. I'm so happy for you, but no. I cannot recommend it to anybody. So that's 11. 12. This is a solid. Oh god, I'm going to give it an A. It should deserve a B, but I'm just feeling A right now. This is another one with kind of no main character, political machinations. Oh, the political machinations of this game are so fun to just watch like, "Oh my god, twists, turns, what's going to happen now?" I don't really like some of the characters. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true. Vaughn is fine. Penelo, she's fine. But like nothing really happens with Penelo. She's like she gets kidnapped at one point, and then after that she's just like hanging around doing nothing for the most part. At least not that I remember. But again, I love well, I love when you can finally buy teleport crystals. Before that, like, how dare you? I think that's not going to down from the S, not having the teleport crystals immediately available at all times. Also, fair warning, I did not play Zodiac Age. I've been wanting to, but this, oh god, I've wanted to play 12 again for years. I've wanted to play it so much, but it's such a long game. It doesn't have to be a long game, but it's gonna be a long game how I'm gonna play it, or if I play it again. I actually think it's on. I've got the PlayStation Plus premium extra something. I don't know what it is, but I've got access to the Zodiac Age for basically free, and I should play it. I might. I'll think about it. Hell, I might even do it on this channel. I might do it on this channel just as justification to actually do it, because God, it's such a long game. But it's so fun. I love the art style's a little funky because it's a PlayStation 2 and they really wanted to make it better. But the I people hate on the Gambit system. I really like it because you can only control one character. Well, you can only actively control one character at a time, and then everyone else is doing shit. But I like that because they're all doing shit, and you're kind of just you're telling them under these circumstances, here is what to do. It's sort of like programming light in a game. And I can understand why people wouldn't like that because you're kind of like trying to min max your party members to get them to be as efficient as possible. But that works for me. I'm not good at it. Don't get me wrong. Just because I like it doesn't mean I'm good at it. If I'm gonna be doing something like one of those really hard battles at the end, I'm gonna be level 99. I'm gonna have everything, and I'm gonna be looking up Gambit so I can just set it and just set it and go, and hope that I don't die along the way, like those 5 hour long Tiamat battles or whatever the hell they are. Oh, but I love, oh, the bounty system. I love the bounty system. They are so hard sometimes. But it's just, again, I love in a game where you can do extra side things and get good shit from it. It's so satisfying. And it's not done well in a lot of situations, but I really think they did it well here. How the fuck do you get the Zodiac Spear, though? I've never once gotten that goddamn spear. I don't know how to get it. And I've looked it up. And well, I looked it up at a time when people were putting shit on game FAQs that were dubious at best. But like, I figured one of them would have been right. But yeah, never got it. I did get the. Isn't there a Zodiac escutcheon that's also difficult to get? I got that, I want to say, but don't quote me on that. Either way, solid A. Maybe an S if I was really feeling frisky, but not today. All right, now we get into some weird areas. Final Fantasy 13. What? Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah, so I gotta give Final Fantasy 13 a C, cause it's so linear. The story's bonkers. I would still say play it if you're gonna go through the series on like 11, which terrible. But there's no open areas until you get to the like very end, and then you can kind of warp back and forth between some places. But I don't like the linearity. I want to be able to be just going around being crazy during the middle of the game, and they don't do that. I do actually like the characters. I know people hate Vanille. I like Vanille. She's adorable. Good for her. Fang, Queen, love her. Wonderful character. Um, the rest of them can't remember their names. Sad to say. Oh my god. Uh, Zaz and Vanille. That moment they have in that one like gambling city where he's like pointing a gun at her head, like because uh he like she did something to his son. I don't really remember what the situation was, but like, oh god, so stressed out watching that. It was such a good scene as far as I'm concerned. Even though it's been a hot minute since I saw that. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else worth saying about 13. Was it the first? It was the first PlayStation 3 one. You know, good for them. It was pretty to look at. It was a real pretty game, but eh, it, I do like the it's such like dissonant, crazy music, but when you're fighting Bartandalus, the several times that you fight him, that music is bonkers, and I loved it. And I know Julia from Drawfee fucking loves the design of I think Orphan at the very end, the final boss. You know what? I get it. I see that for her. But yeah, it's a C. It is an acceptable game. I don't I I don't think it deserves as much hate as it gets, but it deserves a good amount of it. Okay. Okay. Listen, hear me out here. Just get your hand off the keyboard. Final Fantasy 13 2 is an A. It's got to be an A because again, it's very much the 10-2, like it's made for the gays. Like it's stupid, crazy, it's weird. Time mechanics in any video game are just gonna make it like immediately dumber. It's never done well. But I don't know, man. I really liked I really thought it was fun. I liked the way it branched off and you could like go back to previous eras and do different stuff to go down a different path. I loved that. And here's the thing. I'm almost ashamed, I'm I'm almost ashamed to admit this. 13-2 is the one single platinum trophy on PlayStation that I've ever gotten. I don't know how to feel about that. I have opinions about that. They're not great. There are games that I've played hundreds of hours on. For example, Elden Ring. I have 300 hours maybe. No platinum in sight for that game. But 13-2 is really the I sat down like I'm gonna sit here in this casino for as long as it takes for me to get this one last whatever crazy ass item it is that does something just so I can get the platinum. And I think that is the last thing I needed to get the platinum for this game. Time mechanics, I oh ugh. There the scene close to the end where Noel is kind of like back in his like dream. He's like dreaming, but like in his era. It's so grim. I hate an apocalypse where it's just literally one human left alive. It's so distressing to watch. But you know what? Good for him. Getting out there, seeing other people, like learning how to not be such a little jackass all the time or whatever. But yeah, it's an A. It is a bad take. This is a hard sell for this being an A because it is not that good of a game. But again, vibes only today. Now, I liked Lightning Returns. It was better than 13 by a substantial margin. Can't really explain why. I think just the battle mechanic was better. I did like switching basically between costumes. I loved the 13, like the 7 or 13, however many days you had, and the way you leveled up was by completing missions and just getting more stats. I loved that. And I loved the skill you got that stopped time. I used that so much. That was perfect. It's, oh, those little skills, like the world skills that you got that just did extra stuff for you, based on however much of that like gauge you had built up. I want to go back and play that actually. That's I don't want to go back and play 13 too. I got the platinum. I'm never playing that game again. But I do want to play 13 Lightning Returns again. That battle against Noel, that was the only time I struggled in that game though. God damn it, that was hard. Other than that though, it was a really fun game. A solid B, middle of the road. Let's not talk about the story because goddamn, that's just crazy. They didn't need to make you didn't need to do this. Girl, don't do it. This whole story again, timey wimey, Jeremy Bearimy shit, just getting weird and kind of at the end of the world. Like, sweetie, just make a fun game. Like. Nomura, you need to so, again. I don't think Nomura. Oh, actually, I don't know if Nomura was involved in this, but someone needs to tell that man to calm down, or whoever did 13 Lightning Returns and 13 They like I think whoever it is, I think they like Nomura maybe a little bit too much, and we gotta stop. We need to stop with this. Never played 14. Um, However, that being said, having never played it, I'm gonna give it an A. Just because I know the vibes. I know people love. Oh my god, people love this game. Literally, the only reason I'm not putting this in S just for everyone else is the graphics. Now, I understand that this game came out a long time ago. It's not designed. The engine was not designed to be like fucking Genshin Impact, which is beautiful. However, in a world where we have 14 still going strong, and I'm going to guess they're probably going to be doing more expansions like Endwalkers. Haha, not the end probably. I know, I get it. It was I'm going to repeat myself. I get that it was not designed in the current day and age when Genshin Impact was made. I don't even like Genshin Impact. I'm just saying for the purposes of how it looks, it could look better. It looks rough as ass relative to other things that I am currently playing now. It just it's not terrible. I will give it that, but it's really hard to, especially from the time that it came out, it's very hard to make an online game look pretty because of the like fucking the raw computational power of like the rendering. It's not really worth it. But also, god damn it, I don't like watching people play it just because of the way it looks. The story, they really put their whole pussy into it, but I don't want to watch it. I'm so sorry to this man, but I think an A for a game I've never played is perfectly reasonable. Now we're on to our last one, 15. Oh, 15. You could have. What's that quote from Star? I've never watched any Star Wars movie, but I want to say it's episode 3 where he's like screaming, "You were the one, you were the chosen one," or something like that. that really is like 15 for me. Like you should have been so much better and you weren't. You really dropped the ball, sorry to say. But I liked it. I liked the story, I liked the music, I liked the character interactions. Except Gladio got really overbearing and annoying kind of towards the end, but then like was better. Just like fucking God. Stop being a dick, Gladio. But whatever. It really was. I'm gonna put it in B for now, and I'm gonna talk. We're gonna talk through this, and it might move up to an A. I don't know what the vibe is. Like that's this whole thing's about vibes. I don't know what the vibe is. I don't know how to vibe on this one. Obviously, the ending they really fumbled it because it was man, this game was in development hell. Oh, so bad, rough as ass. But they got it through. I think for as long as it was in development hell, it was pretty okay. They did okay for as bad as it could have been. Oh god, and that's making me think a B is really just where it belongs. It was a good game. Like 13 Lightning Returns and 4. It was a solid video game. For the series, for the Final Fantasy series, it could have been so much better. Like stop doing this shit where you've got these games and you're like, well, what if we did this? What if we did that? Commit to the bit and release it. Square Enix, don't have a fucking Kingdom Hearts in development for 10 years and then 3, which is a good game, just be really stupid and bad relative to what it could have been, even though I liked it. um, yeah, just the driving around kind of got old. Like, just get me there. But also, you got to listen to music, which is fun. Some character interactions, taking pictures. Okay, I'm selling myself on that. There just wasn't like my whole thing is I like doing extra stuff. And the extra stuff in this just wasn't like fun. There were bounties, which I did like doing those to an extent, but I just, yeah, I don't know. It just, all the things that they could have done just weren't done great. I, you know what? We're moving on from this and talking about the movie, whatever the hell that was called. I don't remember. There's the tie in movie with this. I fucking loved that movie. It was so good. Fight me. Fight me, anyone. Nyx? Oh, God. Oh, I love you, Nyx. Why did terrible things have to happen to you? Um, Although I will say Luna Freya, man, that bitch was she was she is an incredibly competent woman. Like I think she just knew that she had a destiny that she was going to like fulfill. So she really did not give two shits. Like I'm just going to like jump off this airship and I know everything's going to be fine because of destiny or whatever. Like damn girl, you really went for it. But it was such a fun movie. But you know what? Again, also terrible bad takes. I also really liked Final Fantasy Spirit Within, even though it was not a Final Fantasy movie. It was a sci-fi movie that just had the Final Fantasy title. I liked it. I don't know, it was fun. I didn't even know it was a Final Fantasy movie until years after I watched it, so maybe that helped me. What am I talking about? Oh, right, Final Fantasy 15, the movie. Even though it's not on here. Well, let's assume this is the movie, and that's going up in an S. So yeah, just ignore the 12 Revenant Wings, and let's just assume that's the movie for 15, and that's where I'm putting it. Really love that movie. Stupid. Like, I can objectively see why people didn't like it, but again, for the like fifth time now, it's all about vibes. This is all about vibes. Okay, let's do a quick recap. 6, obviously an S. 7, obviously an S. 8, obviously an S. Unfortunately, we don't have Final Fantasy Tactics, which would also be an S. 10-2, S plus, peak Final Fantasy. Love it. Stupid ass game. So much fun. 2, I don't care. That's an A. I know no one likes it. They're wrong. Everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion, and it's who's to say that mine's wrong other than literally everyone else. 5. Oh yeah, I was like, wait, which one's 5? Bart's, Galuf, Kryl, Exdeath, crazy shit at the end where he turns into a giant worm. You know, good for her. A, yeah, absolutely. 10, A, because it's not as good as 10, 2, sorry to say. 12, political machinations, good fun. Too fucking long. Just, yeah. Again, just the like, just that certain je ne sais quoi is keeping it from being an S. 13, 2, absolutely an A, even though it's terrible, and I understand that, but it's an A. 14, whatever, A, I guess. I don't know. 4, it's a B. It's perfectly acceptable. I know for many people this is an A or even an S, and I'm so happy that you feel that way. It's a B for me, dog. 13, 13 Lightning Returns, totally a B. It was fun. I liked going to the different areas and doing stuff, like a game. 15, oh, it could have been so much better, and they just botched it in so many ways. It just kept it at a B. 1, C, it's you don't have to play it, but if you really want to, go for it. It's the oldest one that you could play. 9, I don't care. I don't like it that much. I am not mad that I played it, but I have no good I can't say I have no good memories. I don't have memories of this game that I care about. Although I will say Vivi is a treasure and he's absolutely one of the best characters in the entire series, but that's probably the only thing keeping it out of a D is Vivi. 13, I think this is a very unobservant. No. What am I trying to say? Uncontroversial. God. You know what? I may just not cut that out. I may embarrass myself by leaving that dead silence in there, me trying to figure out uncontroversial. I think that is an uncontroversial C. Some people would put that in a D. I'm not going to complain about that. If you put in a D, fine. Yeah, I get it. 11, D, terrible, awful, no friends. I mean, I know they've added a bunch of stuff to it over the years, and it was popular enough to have multiple expansions, but girl, don't do it. Don't do that to yourself. It's if you're gonna be doing one of the online Final Fantasy games, it has to be 14. Like, it's just better. It's flat out so much better. So just don't do it. Otherwise, yeah, that's my list. I know, like, you knew going into this by clicking on this video that I had some bad takes, so you can't complain. Even though, feel free to complain and tell me exactly why I was wrong in the comments. I agree. I stand by everything I said here. Like there's no objective measurement, vibes only. That's how we're doing this, and that I think that's how everyone should do these lists, unless you are like trying to like get the community opinion on it. It should just be like, what do you feel about it? Full stop. So, I guess that being said, let me know if you have any opinions on any of my opinions or what you would do different. Either way, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in whatever it is I do next.